No, currently Senegal is importing close to $1.2 billion every year to feed its people. 1.4 million metric tons of rice, 806,000 metric tons of wheat, 450,000 metric tons of maize, 347,000 metric tons of fruit and veg. And we strongly believe that across the value chain of those commodities, 100,000 of jobs could be created by creating a cooperative in the 557 communes in the country, from certified seed production, unlocking the value chain across production, transformation, storage, and linking also the domestic market, the regional and international market. And we strongly believe that it's only and only across those value chains those thousands of jobs could be created. Today, if you see how the agriculture and livestock sectors are fragmented in our countries, technology can be used to leapfrog how Africa should feed Africa, but also linking the agribusiness, the agri-sector and the livestock sector of Africa into the international commodity market. Please allow me to give you just one example. Senegal is importing close to 100 million euro of powdered milk every year. To produce this locally, we need 55,000 cows. We need not more than 20,000 hectares of maize silage. Can you imagine all those number of small jobs that could be created? Again, livestock, farming, transformation of milk locally. These are thousands of jobs, 100,000 of jobs that could be created. After spending 27 years abroad in the international banking market, when I came back home, this is exactly what I did. And by creating 6 small companies, I have created hundreds of jobs. And in the next coming 12 to 24 months, we're going to be creating over 500 jobs. And I strongly do believe that me being the Minister of Agriculture, this is what I'm trying to replicate by, handing over, by asking the private sector through private-public partnership to support governments and doing this together.
First question I always ask is that, have we created the right model to attract the youth to agriculture? What is the economic model of farming today? Today, an average farmer earns in a year about $1,800 in a year. No youth that is a graduate wants to earn that. So we first have to create a model that gets him at a minimum $10,000. And once we have that outcome, then we start to create the right incentives to attract the young talents to come in. Today, Africa, being in focus, has the first time ever where our farmers are educated, they have a phone, and they're on the social network. That's the first time it's ever happened. But we still treat them and transact with them like we did 30 years ago. So we need to really start to think about that. The way we look at it at AFEX is think about it as you're a member of a loyalty program of an airline. So when a farmer is a member of the AFEX network, he has access to shared services. So first is he can get access to a loan to produce. He has products at the right time. He can get access to markets. He can get access to store his bags of products in storage. So that infrastructure that connects him, enhances his productivity, creates a determined market, gives him the best price available, is provided for him by being a member of that. So that's how we really look at it, and then trying to ensure that we can move them from that income of about 8,800 to 4,000, where they start to save and start to invest, get a new land, start building their house, and then really looking for how we can crack that model that promises $10,000 income to everybody coming in.
In India, agriculture employs still 80% of women labor force. A lot of studies suggest that in any country where labor force participation increases, it not merely improves the rural economy, but also improves the economy of the nation as a whole. In India, if you see, women contribute not only as laborers in agriculture, but as cultivators. But of late, the government policies has ensured that women participate and involve themselves into rural entrepreneurship based on agri-based businesses. So what has the government of India done in a lot of programs by itself and in partnership with international agencies like the World Bank has been to ensure to empower women in creating a lot of livelihood initiatives and creating and promoting entrepreneurship. So what happens by this is just that we enable women to have access to markets, access to formal financial institutions and the fundings available there, and also we have access to a lot of trainings that facilitate their skill building. But all of this encompasses to ensure their skilling is enhanced, they have increased opportunities, and all the gender-based roles are not stereotyped and broken. So women have started to be seen not merely as in jobs which were women-oriented, but they have broken barriers, they are rising up, and also thanks to policies of the government of India, that it has ensured that women grow out of rural economies and stopped migration also to a little extent.
Technology, policy, and innovation in general is what drives change at scale and at speed, which is what we need, rather than doing things on a piecemeal basis as they normally do. But I think the point of connecting farmers across the borders is important because farmers are essentially facing similar problems, both large and scale. They might differ in terms of intensity, and therefore there's need to talk as one. Also, it's a bit of an irony that although farmers are the largest segment sort of the populations in most of the developing countries, and also that they produce the food that we all eat, and which underscores how important they are. They still remain the most undernourished, and they also still remain the poorest. I think that is a very bad indictment into the kind of agriculture that we do, both for young farmers, for women farmers. How is it possible that they are the engine of nutrition, the engines of development, the engines of everything, and they still remain the poorest? So there's something to do about how we do development, in my view. This is about power imbalances, whether talking of women or talking of young farmers or a general farmer, between the different actors in the value chain. It's about the distribution of risk and reward across the entire chain that sort of lowers most of the risk to the primary producers where the farmers sit, and also the lowest return there. And as the risk profile reduces as you go up the value chain, you find that also the reward sort of profile increases. So until and unless we deal with the balance of power and the governance of value chains, we are going to remain as we are. I think it's important